Welcome everyone to a monstrous new episode of Megami Tensei Demon Lore. In this episode, we'll be talking about the Greek mother of monsters Echidna. In Greek myth, Echidna was a half-snake monster woman who lived by herself in a cave. She was the mate, and sometimes the wife, of the villainous god-slayer giant Typhon, who attempted to overthrow Zeus and become the new ruler of reality, and was the father of many famous monsters that Echidna gave birth to. Echidna's parentage and genealogy varies depending on the author. The oldest of these accounts is unclear. It could possibly mean that her father was the sea god Phorcys, but it could also mean that her father was Chrysaor, which would make Echidna the granddaughter of the Gorgon Medusa. Other possible parents include the Oceanid Styx, the third primordial deity Tartarus, the second primordial deity Gaia, and the Orphic god of procreation Phanes, or Phanes, who fittingly, according to Orphic tradition, was the father of all gods. According to ancient Greek poet Hesiod, Echidna was a flesh-eating monster who took on the appearance of a woman from torso up, with the body of a snake below. He states that Echidna, despite being a god herself, was not like the undying gods of Olympus, but was still ageless and undying. Some accounts of Hesiod's poems also state that her snake half ended with a snake head of its own. Greek comic playwright Aristophanes had her as a denizen of the underworld with 100 snake heads, which matches with Hesiod's account of the 100 snake heads that her mate Typhon supposedly had. The Orphic account differs, saying that she instead only had a human head with long hair, with her body being serpentine from the neck down. Finally, Greek epic poet Nonnus, who lived in the Imperial Roman period, described her as hideous and with a terrible poison. While there is no exact amount, Echidna had, at most, 12 children. They are Orthrus, Cerberus, the Lernaean Hydra, Chimera, Sphinx, the Nemean Lion, the Caucasian Eagle, Ladon, the Chromionian Sow, a Gorgon, the Colchian Dragon, and Scylla. Of these children, Orthrus, Cerberus, Chimera, Sphinx, Ladon, Gorgon, and Scylla appear in Megami Tensei games. Echidna has appeared in the following Megami Tensei games: Megami Tensei II, Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei, Shin Megami Tensei, Lost Bible 3, Majin Tensei II Spiral Nemesis, and Devil Children Fire and Ice Book. In most of her appearances, Echidna has been a part of the Vile race, taking this role in Megami Tensei II, Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei, and Shin Megami Tensei. In Majin Tensei II, she was a part of the Soshin race, while in Lost Bible 3 and Devil Children, she wasn't a part of any race or order. Echidna has never had a truly major role in a Megami Tensei game. Her biggest role was in Megami Tensei II, where she served as the guard of the bridge in the Lands of Rage that lead to Moloch's temple. Upon her death, she drops an item known as the Dull Orb, which allows the party to travel to another area called the Remote Island. Despite her low amount of appearances, surprisingly, Echidna has had 6 designs across the series. Even though it only appeared in one game, her design from Shin Megami Tensei is generally seen as her main design. It mostly resembles the Orphic description of Echidna as a giant snake with the head of a human woman with long hair. This design deviates from this description by making the human face the same tone as the snake's skin, and by giving the head pointed elf ears. Echidna's other designs come from Megami Tensei II, Lost Bible 3, Majin Tensei II Spiral Nemesis, and 2 designs from Devil Children Fire and Ice. Of Echidna's children, Cerberus is undoubtedly the most famous. Usually referred to as the Hound of Hades, Cerberus is a multi-headed, usually 3-headed, though the exact number of heads varies, guard dog that works for Hades as the guard of the underworld's gates, usually to prevent the dead from leaving. He is typically depicted as a 3-headed dog with a snake for a tail, with multiple snakes protruding from his body. Despite his fame, Cerberus was only involved in one major mythological story, that being his capture by Heracles as part of Heracles' 12 labors. Cerberus' Roman name is Cerberus,